What up? What up? Welcome back to Schmoebates. This is our third match in round one of our tournament, and I am pleased to be joined by the always great Mr. Dwayne Burke.
Hello.
Oh, I thought you had more there.
Just saying hello. Getting started off slow, warming up.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Tom Brady's destroying the Eagles.
Oh, fuck Tom Brady. And also, as always, I hate Duke too. So, and also, as always, another wonderful shout out to Mr. David B for our intro music that we've been using for so long. He's made our show so much better with that. But like I said, this is Schmoebates. This is our third match in round one. And let me go ahead and pull up the bracket just to show you where we are here. So we've already had Mara Knopic advance over Kaiser. Big surprise. Bibiani took out Adam Witt 2-1. And the winner of this match will be playing the winner of Brendan Meyer and Robert Parker. Whichever way that goes, it's going to be interesting. I can't wait. And so we might as well just go ahead and bring them on. And let's go ahead and get this thing started. Please welcome to the show, the one and only VIDEODREW and Puppy.
Hello. Oh, guys, come on, let's get the energy up here. We're gonna be doing some debating, some schmoebating, some dogs doing some shit, maybe actual literal shit in the background. This is gonna be fun. I'm really excited to win this and crush my opponent with strong defeat. No, not in the face.
Well,
no.
Speaking of said opponent, we got the Cobra, Chance Ellison, in the house.
Oh no!
Hello. I was told about this, I think, 3 days prior, so it's been a while since I've been on the Schmoebates anything. But
I'm looking forward to crushing Chance in the only way I will ever be able to crush Chance, through arguing.
Well, we're always glad to have you, Chance. I know you said you were a seat filler. That is never the case.
I mean, I literally filled a seat that was vacant. That could not be filled by anybody else. So.
Well, I mean, technically, yeah, but...
Chance, are you saying that you're too scared to play me because I'm too good at arguing? Or are you just too scared to play me because I'm just scary?
No, I mean, I'm not scared to do anything. But
okay.
I'll do it. I didn't say no.
Okay, gotcha.
So here.
So you're terrified is what I'm hearing.
I didn't hear a no there.
No, I'm just here to play, here to do what I do on this show, man. Have fun.
I mean, it's serious when he's not wearing sunglasses. So
yeah, I mean, one time I took a picture of Chance dead asleep wearing his sunglasses. It was kind of intense.
I think the last picture I took with Chance, we were actually in a bed together.
Yes, we were.
Weirder than my story. Want to hear some context for that?
No, you had to be there.
Hope that does not affect the judge's ruling.
Well, I do not get a vote.
Uh-huh.
So that would be Dwayne and our ghost judge are our votes plus the audience poll, which let me go ahead and pull up the rules here. So, oh shit. Always with the band. Okay, so 3 questions will be debated. The winner will be determined by Dwayne and our ghost judge. If there is a tie, then the audience vote will serve as the tiebreaker. The round format, you get 60 seconds of opening statements each. Then there will be a 4-minute open debate and then 60-second closing statements each for each round. The final round order will be determined by me flipping the action coin. And obviously you have to win at least 2 rounds to be declared the winner. And just remember, each competitor has 1 30-second uninterrupted time extension that you can use at any time, whether it's opening statement, open debate, closing statements. If you want the other person to shut the fuck up and just talk, just say, I want my time. All that clear enough?
Crystal.
I don't know who Crystal is, but yeah, it's clear.
Okay, so we might as well go ahead and jump on into this. Dwayne, if you would like to ask the first question here.
Absolutely. For the question in our first round, we're going to go with which genre or franchise should have its own division next season.
Okay.
Jake, I believe Chance is going
Yes,
first this
Chance,
round.
you are
correct?
going first. Get rid of
Okay.
that. Okay, so your 60-second opening statement starts in 3, 2, 1.
This is an interesting one for me because I'm someone who's like I think we're good on subdivisions, but when thinking about my answer to this one, I thought, okay, what would be the one that can be most sustainable and make for the most interesting competition? And I cheated a little bit. I said Disney, but with a caveat, I said Disney IP, which would be Disney and anything Disney owns. So it would be Disney Animation, Pixar, Disney Live Action, Star Wars, anything Lucasfilms, like Indiana Jones, all that stuff, all 20th Century Fox stuff. I just think that a league in that fashion would be, I think it would yield for a lot of
20 seconds.
I think it yield for a lot of interesting competition because it's a big minefield. There's a lot of unexpected variables, and it's the thing where we can't really. It's not really like Star Wars where you like mine to death after a few seasons. So yeah, I think that would make for a really interesting division.
5, 4, 3.
You'll time.
Okay. Smiths and Drew, and your 60 seconds starts in 3, 2, 1.
I don't even know where to begin with that. Anything that Disney owns. Okay, but you know what? It's my time. So, guys, it's real simple. Horror division. You know it. You love it. We already get the big celebrities coming in to do that. We had Robert Kirkman show up for this year's celebrity tournament as a host. We had last year. We had 2 directors show up. We have people like Bruce Campbell showing up for our horror exhibition matches. This is where we bring in the celebrities. This is what people want to do. And much like Star Wars, the nerd fandom comes out for horror. There is a group of people that we are not currently hitting in our fan base, and those are the super horror nerds. And I think there's enough people in the Schmoedown already, and enough people we could have joining us. We get directors, actors, people who are in horror movies
15.
love horror movies. So it's a great. Is Chance yielding his time over my time?
What?
It's a great place to bring in some celebrity
5,
angles, but then
4,
also just have a lot
3,
of fun for the super nerds
2,
who love horror like me.
1. All right, Dwayne, is there anything that you would like them to expand on, or maybe fight a little bit about in the open debate?
No, going into the open debate, I'm really just waiting to see how they kind of bring up cons to the other's choice. I heard a lot of pros there in the opening statements and not much con. So that's what I'm looking for in the open forum.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I'd like to hear why your choice is better than the other one. So you will have 4 minutes. And don't forget, you do have your uninterrupted time extension if you want it. But I will go ahead. Wait, do we have something from Ghost Judge? He said he seconds Dwayne. So they second Dwayne. Shit. Okay, your 4 minutes start in 3, 2, 1.
Is it my turn? I start?
Both, whoever. Go.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. Here's a list of just properties off the top of my head that are owned by Disney. Okay, so you got 20th Century Studios, Searchlight, Lucasfilms, Marvel, Star Wars. You also have A&E Studios, ESPN, anything on FX, anything that's Disney branded content television. You have literally so much freaking property. MTV. And are we just talking the entirety of the entire? Oops, sorry.
I don't think they own MTV. I'm pretty sure that's Paramount, but that's just I think. But we're not.
Are we talking about stuff they used to own or they currently own? Because that's constantly changing.
I'll say currently for the sake of argument, but also it's movie trivia Schmoedown, so it's inherent that movies. So ESPN that doesn't make a difference.
Oh, 30 on 30 is not going to count when we start adding in streaming content.
No, those don't. Those are always on TV. They're not really made for streaming.
Theatrically released.
I believe that the OJ one was theatrically released. I definitely saw it at Tribeca.
I mean, that's a festival. They're going to go to wide, but yeah, that's not the point. Point is, but like because it's so expansive, it's so wide, it means like we would never run out of questions. And not to mention, there can be a match where you can get a question about Mary Poppins, Alien, the Muppets, and Avengers Endgame. I think the idea of that to me is fascinating as competitive. Like from a competitive standpoint, I think it's fascinating because you have to have a wide breadth of knowledge just to even stand a chance. And I do think that you talk about like appealing to a wider fan base. I think Disney has an incredibly expensive fan base.
Right, but you almost work against your own argument here by saying any Disney-owned IP, which is like at that point you're just talking about like a range of things that like we don't even associate with Disney anymore. So you're not even going to get the hardcore Disney stans because they're.
But you will. I mean, like it'll have the Disney name on it. Like the deeper cuts will likely come from like how it work. Will likely
Are we
come
determining that like the deeper cuts won't be Star Wars or Marvel? It's going to be deeper cuts are going to be Star Wars is in a league that already exists.
I mean,
we're
yeah,
going
it
to
could
have that
happen.
also.
2 minutes.
Yeah, it could happen. I think, but like problem with horror, I think, is the fact that I think, yeah, prospect sure, but I think the problem with horror is eventually it's going to be very repetitive. Like how many times do you ask, like, in what sequel did this happen? In how did this person die? Like, I think at a point it gets boring. Honestly,
I'm not sure how broad you think a genre can go, but horror is pretty expansive. It's
I mean,
I
know it's broad, but eventually you keep to that. I think that it does the opposite. I think you play to that niche a little too much. Where the point is, I mean, with Disney, like you have a wider audience of fans. Where the point with horror, you have like the niche weirdos, and also it make Bibiani happy, and I think that making him happy is a con in life in general. So I don't.
I mean, that is so far your strongest argument from your side, but I think in general. Horror has a more adult fan base. I mean, it's cool to like Disney.
I think that's true.
Like, I mean, but like liking Disney and Pixar and fine is all, but that's not even what you're arguing. You're saying Disney, Pixar, all of Marvel, all of the MCU, all of Star Wars, anything that's involved with Fox. I mean, this is so broad. You're just basically talking about movies.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I think that you know exactly what you're playing to.
Are you? Do people know the acquisition deals that Disney have done? Do they know exactly what they're getting when they say Disney IPs? I don't think so. Whereas horror, you're like, okay, I know what horror is.
So anyone who would need to know would know.
Okay, so that's not a broad base of fans though. That's a super hyper.
I mean, yeah, it is. Though. I mean, look at horror conventions. Like horror conventions have their own small ones.
30 seconds.
You know what kick the shit out of any horror convention in terms of attendance, in terms of fanfare, in terms of everything. D23. It's one of the best. That rivals Comic-Con in a lot of cases. And you think of like all the fans from there we could bring in to watch this.
Yeah, but like if you're not bringing in all the E23 fans, you're bringing in anybody who's interested in like Fox Searchlight Productions, I guess. Like you're just talking about like the hitting a broadest range. But like, you're not talking about any specific fandom.
Where, like, we're never gonna get the same question multiple times. We're never gonna get the same.
By the way, horror cons are huge. And a huge part of Comic-Con.
Not as big as D23.
And that's it.
Is most of Comic-Con.
All right. You know, I'm actually kind of split on this one. My thing with Disney IP and it being so broad, I think they would probably do like Inner Geekdom and give you the list of movies. I don't know. That's just personally how I was processing that. Dwayne, do you have anything that you need them to do to sway you?
I think that's a fair assumption, but I would say that right now we still haven't gotten really into the meat and bones of this.
No.
They argued about like one singular point. Was it broad enough? This one's too broad. I need a little bit more because right now on my list of arguments, it's dead even. I haven't gotten anything that pushes me one way or the other yet. I don't have an argument on either side that's kind of weighing the scales down either way. And I don't know what argument would get me there. I just haven't heard it yet.
Gotcha.
Okay, so keep that in mind.
I respect that criticism and thank you for that criticism, and I will take that into mind.
All right. Our ghost judge wants me to give you 2 more minutes, but that is not how the show works, unless I feel like it. I think on this one, I kind of want to see how you can condense it into your 60-second closing arguments and address the points that Dwayne made. So, Chance, you will be going first, and your 60-second closing argument starts in 3, 2, 1.
project of a Disney IP trivia league, I think, works in terms of anybody involved with this. It's a benefit for the writer because they have a lot of material. They never get bored writing the same questions over and over again, which they would do for a horror league. It works for the competitors because it's defined enough to the point where you know what you're getting into, but broad enough to the point where, again, it's not going to get boring to compete because you're not going to weigh down a bunch of quotes and a bunch of obscure actor questions. And it works for fans because, like I said, Disney is a brand, it is a institution at this point, a cultural institution.
30 seconds.
Point. Everyone recognizes the brand. Everyone knows what they're getting into. I mean, they have all the most popular IPs, so you would get fans from all different ages. And plus, it's been around for so long that you would get younger kids. You can get adults who grew up with this stuff. I just think this Disney IP is something that works on all levels, whereas horror only works with, again, a more niche audience. The point where we're not going to expand as much as people probably think we would.
5, 4.
I'm good.
3. All right. Okay, and Drew, your 60-second starts in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, you know what? I did think of one IP that Disney doesn't own. It's called Skybound Media. Instead, they own a bunch of horror franchise properties. They have people like Robert Kirkman, creator of The Walking Dead, who's interested in already, just without a horror league, coming in and hosting our stuff. He loves horror. The whole franchise or the whole business that Schmoebates is now associated with and is partnering with loves horror. And so that by itself just makes a very good financial business and just unquestionably best decision, as opposed to Disney, which is just an easy fit for where I think the league is taking us, which is not as much into the childlike territory, but the more adult themed content. Nothing
You
against
have 10 more.
No, I'm good.
All right.
Please cancel.
Yielding your time. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and post the poll to our call to action Twitter. And in the meantime, Dwayne and Ghost Judge, if you will go to the private chat that we have on Twitter.
Yep.
I see Dwayne taking notes. That's worrisome. I've never taken a note in my life.
I have a very small space to take notes on because I have notes on this board that are important and I can't erase them.
It's a post-it note with 1,000 words on it.
It's a whiteboard. It's just
no.
It's just this part down here. This is all stuff that I'm working on currently that I can't erase.
Let me see. I think that's a Drew is best. Drew wins. I'll thank you.
Hey, the poll is now posted on our Twitter. I'm going to put that in the chat real quick.
Hold on, let me get my spam accounts up on here. My Insta accounts.
Okay. And also, while we're waiting, we did get a super chat from big fan of the show, friend of the show, Ben Rayner. Just saying hi. Happy game night. Can't stay long. Have a fun night. Thanks,
So
Ben.
Ben, who would you vote for? Come on, tell us. In a super chat. Preferably. Let's see.
So that one was interesting. I don't get a vote in this, but I do have a thought, but I'm going to wait till we get our judges' votes in before I say something. But in the meantime, while we're waiting, what have y'all been up to?
I was just wondering, is there anything that is a crossover? Is there any horror Disney IP besides the Haunted Mansion?
Alien, I guess.
Alien? Forgot that was no Disney. Yeah, I guess that's right. There's Alien.
See, 20th century.
Does that mean Alien versus Predator also counts?
Yeah, those both Fox.
Oh man,
I did not know that.
Okay, I'm not arguing anymore. I just think that's cool. That's cool. I mean, we haven't run out of Star Wars questions somehow, magically.
I don't think it's.
Speaking of which, this is a good time to plug that I'm going to have a Final Girls match with Janine sometime coming up soon before Halloween. You guys should all check that out. I think it's going to be a Patreon thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Check it out.
I
wasn't there for the match, but I heard
about
about it. I'm excited to watch it play out.
Oof, I am too.
I mean, my vote would always be Sidney Prescott in that. But okay,
That's a great one.
we do have our winner of round one. I'm only going to tell you the winner on this round. I'm not going to tell you round two, and that way you keep fighting just in case it's like a clean sweep.
Okay.
So our winner for round one, that would be the Cobra. Chance Ellison.
Okay. Cool.
Didn't even need the audience poll for it, but I'm going to look at it anyway.
Didn't know that's how this worked.
Well,
ooh, audience poll is 51% horror, 49% Disney.
Doesn't matter. So one.
Yeah, but yeah, Chance, you got round one there. So for round two, and also remember, you do have your 30 seconds.
we just go right into it. Okay.
Yeah, just go right into it.
It's been a while since I've been on the show. It's been a while.
It's also the first time you've been on since I've been hosting.
True.
So
that is true. I was gonna give the reasonings for the votes, but
no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say the main thing that pushed both me and the Ghost Judge over for Chance was there. I don't think that there was enough of the countering of the broad appeal of Disney, because while I think there is a strong drive for a horror league, especially like in the fan base, when you look at it from a marketing and what's going to bring in new fans and also appease the fans that we already have, I think Disney does a much better job than horror. And that was kind of the deciding factor for me.
The entire Disney IP library, I felt like I wasn't supposed to talk about that much anymore, but I get you. I hear.
Yeah, and our Ghost Judge said they loved Drew's approach to which one would be easier to do, but Chance sold them on the variety / appeal argument. So that's
I'll take
our
it.
reason. So we'll go ahead and roll into question 2. Mr. Burt.
Question number 2. This one feels kind of weird because, that it's kind of on the competitors which category has been overused lately, because they're the ones that spin the wheel. But which category has been overused lately? And I believe we're starting with Drew for this round.
Yes, we are. And before I start the timer, I just want to shout out the Schmoebates OG creator and host, Alex Mack. She wrote those first 2 questions.
Love them.
So salute, Alex.
Yeah, Alex. My Cinema Bias co-host.
Yep. So Drew, Drew, your 60 seconds starts in 3, 2, 1.
Maybe change bottom scroll. I think that the most overused category, it's easy. It's hands down. We talk about what gets hit the most this season, just overused time and time again, and you can't argue that anyone wants to see it. Opponent's choice. The amount of times that opponent's choice has landed this season, like last season, it seems like almost mathematically impossible. Like people just keep hitting it. It is the definition of the word overused. No one wants to see it on the board. No one likes hitting it. No one even necessarily likes it when their opponents get it, because it puts the onus on them to figure out what the other guy's bad at. I'm not even sure if the ratios work out that when you get opponent's choice, you're necessarily likely to lose. You're just necessarily likely to have a bad game.
Yeah, 15 seconds.
I'm gonna yield my time here. Let's go with that.
All right. Bold move, Cotton. So, Chance, your 60 seconds starts in 3, 2, 1.
So this is an interesting one because there's a lot of categories that pop up a lot. I've seen it pop up a lot on wheels, but don't get spent very often. So I try to think of what's something that's been coming up consistently no matter what, and I ultimately landed on martial arts. Not that I don't like the category. I just think that logistically you run into a lot of problems with martial arts coming up so much. Since its introduction, it's come up in a lot of round ones, which is fine. But I think you run into, like I said, a lot of problems. I'll explain my arguments, but mostly in the idea of what you're answering, the parameters of the question, parameters of the category. A lot of it becomes very unclear, especially with a category like martial arts, where a lot of it is based on things that are released overseas, maybe here, maybe not. The category that gives competitors a lot of pause, and I don't think that mining. I think that mining so many questions in early rounds, later rounds, where you do have the option to leave them out, I think it's unbeneficial to the category and should be used a little less,
5,
in my opinion.
4, 3. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. All right. It was an interesting swerve that Drew picked there, but I think it's valid. It's a really valid point. Dwayne, Ghost Judge, if you got anything before this 4-minute open debate, go ahead and throw it out.
I don't want to lead anyone, so I'm gonna not say anything prior to this one, because there were some alarm bells shot off on both sides. That if I was on the other side of this, I would immediately start attacking. I already see some of the weak points in both arguments, and I'm just excited to see if they get touched on it. If they do, I think either one could come out of this with the win of round 2.
You hear that? Dwayne called both of y'all weak. Step your shit up.
Danny's been harsh on me harsh on us this entire game, but I feel like I want to do better to rise to his level of expectation here.
And Ghost Judge also said my question would have been totally leading, but I think the opponent's choice is perfectly valid. So yeah. All right. Well then, let's go ahead and roll into it if I can figure out how to work my timer. Okay. Your 4-minute open debate plus your extra 30 seconds, should you choose to use it, starts in 3, 2, 1.
So
Bold
I think
choice,
choice.
Chance, going with like the idea that the broadening representation in the Schmoedown is actually the thing that is most overused. Because I could argue that like just the whole white guy cinema thing is a little bit overused. But hey, like no, let's make
It's not just broadening. It's not just the idea of just broadening a horizon.
But it is a certain cultural element that has been missing from the Schmoedown.
No, I get that, but like again, you can include foreign films, like you can include something like Parasite or In the Mood for Love. That's not necessarily martial arts. The problem with martial arts is the fact that it's a category a lot of competitors do not understand. Like it's a category I feel like people know, like okay,
and I feel like that's on them. Like if you don't, just because you don't like know that much about black cinema or something, that's on you as a competitor to be better and like do more about learning the different kinds of movies. I mean, that's what Schmoedown should be about. It should be about expanding your movie taste.
And I do agree with that. But I think the problem is, if you're bearing a lot of these like noble martial arts movies like really early against like the really obscure ones, that's no fun frame about. But I do want to talk about opponent's choice because that's just ignoring like just a fundamental part of the game. It's basically like saying like, hey, I want to play Monopoly, but no get out of jail free cards.
I didn't say that we shouldn't use it. I said it's overused. I mean, like we take it out of championship games and IG for a reason, and Star Wars for a reason. Like,
but
you have
the option. They could still be there.
It could, but like you see what I'm saying? It's overused because in these championship matches and other divisions.
But again, that's just a part of the game. It's not like people requesting opponent's choice every single
people
match.
not requesting it. But the amount of times it's hit, it's not a judgment on whoever hits it. It's not a judgment on putting it on the board. I'm saying what is most overused in this game, just by happened of circumstances.
But that's like saying that's like saying the jail space is overused on a Monopoly board, or
so you're making
or the shoot space is overused on Shoots and Ladders. Like that's just a part of the game. That's how it works.
But you're saying that like martial arts, just like on a moral level, like shouldn't exist as a category, whereas like
I didn't say it shouldn't exist. I just said it shouldn't be like a base category for a round one. I think like round one in general, I think should be more general categories, not something that's that niche and that can be mined very quickly that fast.
Well, wait, is your argument that it's going to be mined very quickly, or that it's too broad and there's too many things that you don't know about?
But also, like if you keep using it around consistently, you're going to end up getting the same answer every time. Like, how many times can Jet Li be answered a martial arts question in round one? Because they're not going to ask about these super like deep cut martial arts in round one. So why even?
There you go. So like your argument about like it's going to be all these movies that people don't know about, like is.
But it's going to get predictable at a point. Like what's the point if it gets the same answer every time?
Wow, it's almost like spinning the wheel and knowing that somebody's going to land on opponent's choice once.
But even then, I think mathematically it's been calculated. Like opponent's choice isn't hit that much more than it has been.
And why does it feel like it is? And if it feels like it is, is it overused?
because it happens so close together. And like you can't overuse a category that's a fundamental part of the game. That's just not how anything works.
So you're
That's
saying
like saying black. That's like saying a black is overused in roulette. That's just not how anything works.
I mean,
It doesn't make any
wait,
sense.
no, that's literally not it. But you're saying that
That is literally what you're saying. You're saying like, hey, you know, I want to play roulette, but I don't want to land on black. Like,
no,
like that's why you
push
play
back
the game.
on this a little bit by saying that something has been hit so many times this season that it is statistically becoming, at least appearing to be for most audience and players, to be something that is overused. Like it is showing up too often. And not just for the people who hit it, but like for people who are watching the game going.
But again, that's why you play. That's why you adapt. That's why. And again, if you're a more strategic player, like myself,
that's also why you learn about different kinds of movies. That's also why you just learn about martial arts cinema and decide that also
coming from somebody who I'm pretty sure asked for martial arts at one point. That's
but
pretty
also
bold.
martial arts tends to overbleed with black cinema so much that like even to say that is to deny like half the other sides of representation we're trying to add into this game.
I'm just saying it doesn't even be every round one. That's what I'm saying.
Time. Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. And honestly, I'm still kind of 50-50 on this. So what I really need, Dwayne with his meticulous notes and whatever our ghost judge is doing, if you got anything to guide this, let me know.
So both kind of like dip their toe into the weak points of each argument. Both competitors did it, and they just didn't quite like both of it happened in passing, in just like glancing statements. And I think if if either one had just hammered home those points, they'd be clear ahead right now. I'm like 51-49. Right? No. I'm not disappointed. I'm like 51-49 right now. Like there's no clear winner on yet. And I think if either competitor had taken those the exact, because they both mentioned the exact weak point that I was looking for in each other's arguments, but neither one of them, that wasn't the like fulcrum of their argument. They both used it kind of as just like a quick shot and then moved past it.
All right, so see if you can figure out what exactly it is that he's wanting you to jump in on.
I didn't want to go there, but I will if that's what you need me to do.
All right. Well, Drew, you are first up, and your 60-second closing statement starts in 3, 2, 1.
Look, I'm not going to say that it's like over the top racist to say that martial arts movies shouldn't be a category or is the overused category in Schmoedown. But I am saying it's like verging close to that territory. We are literally trying to expand the league into something where people feel more represented and that there are different kinds of movies from different countries. And yes, there are other ways you can add in Korean cinema, Japanese cinema, Indonesian cinema, but there's very little you could do that would put it under overarching genre besides just saying Asian movies or movies that have both black representation and like Asian culture. Like this is literally the melting pot that we want in Schmoedown. Yes, it's not something that a lot of people are super comfortable in it with if you've just joined the league from like early seasons and all you're into is like whatever you're into. This is pushing you to be better. And that's my argument.
You still got 10. You giving it up? All right. Chance, your 60 seconds starts in 3.
Wait, hold up. I want to evoke my 30 right now.
You want to go 130?
Yeah, I'll evoke my 30 right now. Why the hell not?
Okay, hold on. Let me adjust the timer. All right. In 3, 2, 1.
I mean, this is a hard question just because there's not like categories get like overplayed or get overused a lot. I'm just saying when martial arts is coming up in every other round one, and especially when the answers are usually the same, one of the same 3 answers every time, it's probably not smart for a gameplay or a strategic thing to have it in there. Especially, like I said, when it's a category that people just are just confused by. thing with opponent's choice, like I said, one, statistically,
1 minute.
I don't know if it was Megs or Frank. They really analyzed, broke down like the amount of times it's been spun and hit this year. Comparing to other seasons, it's been hit marginally more. Only reason it seems like it because it happens so close together, and because competitors like to use it as a crutch. And if you want to do that, that's fine. But again, saying that's overplayed, it's gonna be on the wheel. Why? It's a part of the game. It's in the rules, and that slice isn't going anywhere. So I don't understand. And it's not like
30
people.
seconds.
Again, when in title match they have a choice to put it on, but in regular matches it doesn't. So I don't understand the complaint about having a slice that is fundamentally a part of the game on there. Like I said, it's like having sorry without the ability of like having to say, you're sorry. Like no, that's just not how anything works. Like it's gonna happen. That's part of the risk. That's part of the
10,
strategic value of this game. And that's not going anywhere. So I don't understand saying that's overplayed.
5, 4.
I'm good.
Good.
I'm going to invoke my extra 30 as a response to that.
Okay. Just
Okay.
a second.
I guess we do it now.
All right. 3,
Never knew you could do
2,
that. Fair enough.
1.
Yeah, saying that something's an intrinsic part of the game isn't the same as saying that it is something that you think is like a good part of the game, right? If you're saying that literally the championship matches of other divisions have the option to take this off the table, that means that the top tier level God players have the option to not include this part of the game. So by definition, you're kind of saying this part of the game is like not essential. Like it's not necessary. People should have the option to just take it off if both players can agree to do it, because it's just kind of like an FU.
Time. All right. So that was a hell of a round there. Go ahead and post this poll to the call to action Twitter. I will throw it in the chat. And while I'm doing that, I am really interested in what Dwayne has to say here.
Me too, because Dwayne, I only went that hard for you, bud.
That the closing arguments were interesting for sure. Chance definitely went into the point that I was looking for. Mathematically, opponent's choice has not been hit too much. It's been hit actually almost the exact amount, if not a little bit less than statistically it should be being hit in matches. It just seems like a lot more because when you're using a digital wheel, there are a lot of factors that don't exist. Friction, air resistance, the strength of the spin. When you bring it into a medium that is truly neutral, it's come up almost exactly the right amount of times that it should. Let
me be clear. I wasn't trying to say that it's being rigged. What I'm saying is how many times does martial arts come up? Like it just seems like a lot.
But that's the point that you brought up that I was looking for Chance to refute, which is exactly what he did in his closing statements. And then Chance had you until your extra 30 when you brought up that just because it's part of the game doesn't mean it's a good part of the game. And that, now I have to think.
All right. Yeah, we still seems like the ghost judge kind of agrees with what Dwayne just said there. So this is going to be interesting. It's tough for me. Like I'm glad I don't have a vote in this. But you know who does have a vote? And that would be the people watching. So
good segue.
Go to the call to action Twitter and you will be able to find the link to the poll there. It could be the deciding tiebreaker for the entire game. You never know. You reset my timers. But yeah, that was definitely interesting. And again, shout out to Alex Mack for that question because I wasn't really sure how that one was going to go when I first put it out there, and it went above and beyond what I expected.
I'll ask it after we don't get the decision until the third question. Okay, I guess
Right.
I feel like I haven't heard that many martial arts questions that aren't in round two, but I might except for JTEs. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not trying to sway the argument. I'm just trying to think of like other times I've heard them ask about it. like in round 1. And I'm coming up short.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on the final decision from our judges here, and then we can move on to round 3. Just remember, nobody's out of this. This shit has been close in both. All right, I have 1 vote in. Oh, of course we got a fucking troll in the chat.
Oh, is PLD here?
Oh, they're gone now. Look, Cam, I'm trying to moderate and do the polls and everything at the same time. I'm on it, but it took me a second.
Okay. The votes are in.
Okay. All right. Like I said, the polls are live at the Call to Action Twitter. The link is scrolling across the bottom. I'll throw it back in here.
There was a lively discussion in the chat with me and the Ghost Judge.
Yeah.
That was a good round. It was a very good round.
Thank you.
All right. I put the link in the chat too, to where you can find the
Let me get my board ready
poll. So we are gonna roll into round 3 since Drew spun the coin before the show first. Then Chance, you get to choose whether you want Team Ghai or Team Trader.
Which one is Tails?
Bateman's an ass. So
All right, let's go with that one. Let's go Team Trader.
okay. It is Team Ghai. So Drew, would you like to go first or second?
I like going second. Let me follow up.
Okay. Go ahead and throw the and yes, Ghost Judge, that troll was very aggressively racist. We don't have any room for that shit down here. Okay, Dwayne.
All right. For our final question of the night, to mix it up and in our we lost somebody.
Oh no.
We lost the person who's going first.
I can go first then if he decided to bow out of shame.
He's back.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, my phone does that where the browser crashed. But I'm back.
Okay. So our final question of the night, to liven it up and give ourselves some entertainment. Question number 3: if you could have a comedy podcast with any Schmoedown competitor or manager, who would it be?
Oh shit!
And Chance, you're going first, so let's hear it. I hope it's good.
And real quick to clarify, the question is who the audience needs to pick, or the judges you're picking on whose podcast sounds funnier.
It's however you just pitch. It's just a pitch meeting. Whoever you sell on what would be the funniest podcast. So.
Gotcha.
It does not have to make any sense. The last time I did one of these, I believe that was the great Baby Carrots Coors Light commercial where you get kids to eat their vegetables while also advertising beer.
Yeah, this shit. Round 3 is always off the rails, so you just do whatever you got to do. So, Chance, your 60 seconds starts in 3, 2, 1.
There's a lot of potential choices for this prompt, but ultimately I got to go with family. Got to go with blood. I'm of course going with the aforementioned Baby Carrots, Mark Ellis. This is a guy he's always bringing the laughs, always bringing the professionalism, and he's just someone who one of those guys who's like effortlessly funny. I think that it doesn't matter what the podcast is about. I'll pitch things can be about in a second, but I do think that he's someone who, like anything with him on it, it's gonna get views, it's gonna get laughs, and it's gonna be a really fun time. And that's what you want from a podcast. You want a good, fun time. And there's no person to call. There's no other person to call than maybe Carrots Mark Ellis. So that's my pick.
You yield in your 10 seconds?
Sure, why not?
All right. Thanks for changing it up on me. So I got to change these polls and shit real quick.
What do you mean changing it up on? I didn't change.
You said something else in the other chat, but
I thought she took my first option.
No. Do you want to redo your round 3 opening?
no, it's fine.
I'll
good.
keep it. I'll keep it.
Yeah, we're good. Drew, your time starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, remember when we met? Remember how we met? Remember what fun we had that first season? I say let's bring that back. We're getting me, we're getting Tom, we're getting the Looney Bin podcast. It's a bunch of dead air, weird, awkward silences, and it's the funniest thing you've ever heard. Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. Yes, it's going to make your parents sort of uneasy about the kind of content you've been listening to, but it's going to be hilarious. It's going to have all the teeth. And hey, I got Tom back for you. You love Tom. Tom's back. Looney Bin the podcast, coming this fall on Stitcher.
You got 20 seconds.
Oh no, that's it.
All right.
I wanted to pick Kaiser just because I know you wanted it.
I
That's
really
what-
I didn't know you changed.
That's what I had in the setup in the poll, but I changed it.
Yeah. I thought you gave her dibs on Kaiser. That's why I changed.
I was very confused about it because I thought you were saying I understand what happened, but I was responding to the original query about the question, and then when I realized what the second question was, no, I got Tom.
Okay, fair enough. I'll stick with mine. I like my pick better.
Yeah, it's all good. We can roll with it. All right, Dwayne, Ghost Judge, what you got?
I mean, there's not much to say after that the opening. I mean, we know who the co-hosts are going to be. Let's hear about the podcast. You know, let's get into the nitty gritty of it, and I think that's where the swing and development of who's really going to come out on top in this round is going to be developed.
I agree. All right. Well, let's just roll into it then. 4 minutes of open debate start in 3, 2, 1.
Now, I will say, I don't know Tom the man. I've had a few rounds with him in passing. Tom the character, I don't know if you're going to get that dude for an hour and a half podcast. And even if you did, I don't know if I want to listen to it.
I know where he is. I know where I've been keeping him, and I know that he's a pretty captive audience. Participant.
Let me pause real quick. We did have something come in from the Ghost Judge just a little bit late.
Okay.
It just says, "What makes your choice such a great partner?" Which I'm sure you're gonna go into. All right, and we're back.
I mean, sure, you got to trade him in the basement. I don't have to have Mark Ellison in my basement in order to make sure you showed my podcast, because that's kind of dude he is. Also, with you two on the mic, you might say something incriminating. It's not going to be a very long lasting podcast. I'd be scared for you and scared for me as a listener.
So that's probably why people hated listening to us, and we totally lost best quote of the year, and people really just turned off a Looney Bin after that first season.
I don't think best quote of the year is the category. That's the thing. So, and they're not around anymore. They won't talk about the Looney Bin anymore. I don't think so.
I feel like people absolutely do still talk about the Looney Bin. First of all,
people talk about video. People talk about video.
And second of all, none of this is going to be movie related podcast. I'm not hearing you talk about what your podcast is. Just what my podcast isn't. My podcast with Tom, it's going to be cooking segments. It's going to be dress up. It's going to be makeup tutorials. It's going to be marginally, I guess, about movies.
Those aren't very interesting things to listen to. They're interesting to watch, not interesting to listen to.
Oh no, it's a visual podcast.
That's a video. It's not a podcast.
Yeah, and Tom will be describing what he's wearing and what is being done to him, and also he will be cooking, and you'll be able to hear those sounds.
Are you gonna have a poison control on hand? Point with Mark Ellis, I think that you have the freedom to basically have whatever you want to be. You can be about movies, maybe about a stand-up tour, maybe about destination, about travel. I think that inherently he's just an interesting dude. And
that's
having
great,
him
but,
on the line,
podcasts are only as good as the duo, and one half can be really funny.
But also,
what are you gonna do,
you'll have talks about his life as my father, the father-son duo. How he didn't show my first birthday, didn't show us my first football game. Want to call it the game-winning pass.
That sounds hilarious.
Talk about you see you just said
that seems hilarious. When I think of corruption, I think of two words: comedy, but it's spelled with a K.
Exactly. No,
I think they're just
ain't
people who are
nobody
just
funny.
really
Ain't nobody funny in the
carefree.
production. And plus, the idea of Mark Ellis pairing with someone who's like his brooding offspring. Like the dichotomy of that would be too much to resist.
Brooding, the brooding offspring. That sounds like
Yes.
such a funny comedy contest. It's Mark Ellis, like jokey guy, and then his brooding offspring.
And then his son, who he's been neglecting for several decades.
Wait, so now you have a
angry
backstory
at
where
him.
you're his child? I'm so confused. How
His
high
natural father.
of concept is this?
It's a very high concept, and that's
Very
why
high concept.
you got to tune in to find out how high concept it is.
Well,
whereas Looney Bin,
very
Looney
low
podcast
concept.
is just gonna get
Sub-basement concept. Honestly.
you're gonna get pulled after one episode because you're gonna do something illegal to a lizard.
And that is hilarious.
It's not
And
hilarious.
the question isn't
It's
what's
scary.
legal, it is what is funny.
Legal and funny are not mutually exclusive.
They're not mutually exclusive, but I'm
You
just
can
saying,
be
if you
legal
want to see a dead
and you
body,
can-
like maybe show up to the death of Chance and Mark Ellis's show where there will be 0 listeners and 0 jokes.
That is not
You
true. I
wanna
mean,
come
look
here-
at hey, he killed it with another chance on Rotten Tomatoes. He killed it with this chance on this podcast with his own son.
I don't understand what that meant, but I will say that I don't understand.
He had
Tom,
Chance the Rapper on the Rotten Tomatoes podcast, and that got listeners. That got a ton of listeners.
Chance, just one last question.
Yeah.
How do you spell comedy?
Komedy. Comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the
I
K.
think I rest my case there.
Are we done, Jake? You muted. I can't hear you, buddy.
15 seconds.
Oh, well, we're done. We've decided.
Rochambeau the rest of the time, Drew?
Yeah. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Where's Bane? Rock, scissors, shoot.
That was horrible.
Sorry. There we go.
We didn't get the cadence right.
We didn't get it right, man. But we also didn't talk about the Outsider podcast that we're going to be starting.
We're still doing that? Awesome. Let's do it.
We're still doing it. It's just me, you, Ben Mendelsohn, and a bunch of really bad Stephen King miniseries.
All right. Well, before we go into this final debate,
Then we just final argument. Wait a minute, what?
Yeah,
we did the debate.
Yeah, the closing argument. Chance,
Yes.
you were saying it could be about movies or comedy or touring or whatever. I'm just wondering, are you pitching something that is completely just random, whatever the topic of the day is, or is there a specific focus? I'm kind of
Or is
wondering
it
about
organized
that.
like mine?
Are you asking me now, or do you want me to address
In the debate?
Okay, cool, perfect.
Or in the closing statement.
Yeah.
Dwayne, what you got?
I got nothing.
Where are the notes say for this one, Dwayne? Can you show us?
Oh. I mean, I could show you the notes, but I won't show you yet.
Is it just huh in big letters?
No, it's not. There's actually some.
I'm joshing you, buddy.
There actually is some
Tom's frowny faces on his
stuff.
hands.
There is some stuff on the list. I got nothing.
Is the ghost judge Tom? That would be very helpful for me.
Well, the ghost judge did say I want the Video Chance Variety podcast after what I just heard.
That's it actually is more hilarious than it sounds. We've done it. We've done a not podcast. We did like videos.
I mean, we did the Video Chance Variety. The only thing is it wasn't filmed.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Hey, Alex Shawshak in the chat.
Hey, lady.
Hey, Alex. Thanks again for those first 2 questions.
Yes, thank you.
All right, so we're going into our closing statements. Dwayne got nothing from the ghost judge. And Chance, I believe you were up first. So your 60 seconds starts in 3, 2, 1.
Creepy, unnatural, somewhat evil. 3 words you can use to describe the Looney Bin podcast. However, things you can try to describe the Chance and Mark Ellis podcast: fun, sometimes family friendly, got a good variety. I think that I wouldn't have an inherent structure to it, just me and coming in and talking whatever. We can talk anything, and you'll get a lot of laughs because Ellis that kind of guy. He can roll the punches. He can just turn any situation into a situation you want to be at.
Seconds.
And I do want to point out, like I said, he's professional. He's going to show up. Other guys are just effortlessly funny. And I do want to point out, of these two podcasts, only one was described as funny, and that's when Drew called mine funny. I should win it right there. Yield by time.
Yeah, you got 15 seconds. All right.
I yield.
All right.
Okay. I'll play more Rochambeau. True.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Alright.
Yeah, shoot.
You both keep going scissors. What is this?
Classic move, classic comedy.
All right, Drew, you're 60 seconds.
Scissors never loses.
So, just real quick, I guess, let me just start up by saying me and Tom's podcast will be funny. So that just negates that argument. It's going to be very funny. And you know it's going to be funny because when you think about who is the funniest team that's ever been in Schmoedown, maybe you don't put Looney Bin as number one, but we're in your top three. Whereas, like, one half of Chance's idea for a podcast, I don't think is making your top 20. Being deadly serious and good at movie trivia is very different than, like, coming in, calling Janine a machine and asking if anyone wants to see a dead body. It is different from Tom giving dead air for like 5 minutes and it being the funniest anti-comedy that you've seen or heard ever. Plus, we actually have segments. We actually have dress up and music talk where Tom just listens to atonal sounds and tells us what they remind him of from the afterlife where he's been. It'll look Chance is laughing because it sounds really good.
I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at Jalen Hurts almost like take out a do the ball.
Guys, if you've ever listened to Tom do anything, then you know that that he is kept in my basement right now. And he won't leave until we do a comedy podcast. I've told him that. So if you have any desire to see Tom do well and see the sunlight ever again, vote for me.
Well, that's it. All that's off the record now. Nobody knows that Tom's in the basement. I'm laughing because
Ellie doesn't have basements.
I'm laughing because Eagles QB Jalen Hurts almost took out a security guard after a touchdown.
Uh-huh.
All right. That
Fake news.
is the end of our arguments here. Let me go. I posted the poll on Twitter. Let me go ahead and throw that up on the ticker and in the chat. Dwayne, now I want to hear your comments.
I want to see the board.
Okay. So my notes are my own. I'm gonna put this up here so you guys can't see the top part. It's irrelevant. But in favor of Chance, I had on the pros, Mark Ellis is effortlessly funny. The non sequitur structure of the podcast, and Drew called it funny. And then for cons, I had Ellis is carrying the duo, and too high concept.
It is very high concept.
That doesn't think it's too high concept.
And then for Drew's, for Drew's, the first Tom's back. That's a pro. The Looney Bin's popularity is obviously a pro for the podcast, and then there were actual like topics thrown out, and this was before you did your closing argument is when I wrote that.
Okay.
And then the bottom, they're not really cons, they're just things that Chance brought up. Illegal question mark. And then creepy, unnatural, and I forgot what the last one was.
Somewhat evil.
But right there is that bad?
Yeah.
Question mark.
Yeah.
So
if at any rate, I would like to use this, whether I win or lose tonight, to use this as a cudgel to go take to Tom and be like, we need to do a podcast together.
I'm down for that.
Or you guys should listen to the Hypecast episode I was recently on with Tom and Dave, where we discussed upcoming movie trailers, and it was fun. So always check out Tom's stuff over at Gamefully Unemployed Podcast Network. Gamefully, like the games, and then Unemployed, it's spelled like it sounds.
Also, what was that show that you showed me and, was it me and Mariana or me and Billy when we were in Brooklyn?
When was it? Well, what show? Oh, his show that's on Amazon Prime. Yeah, that's crazy. The one where he talks about like toys from like that was a cracked show that like is now on Amazon Prime. I forget what it's called.
Was it Junk History or something?
Junk History. Yep, check that out. There's 3 episodes of like crazy ass Tom, like way younger, not way younger, but like way different Tom, having completely different energy, talking about toys from his childhood.
I never expected it. He goes on to fucking like coy mode where he's just
talked faster
talking.
than I've ever talked. Yeah. He can be very energetic. If you
I was
listen to
like-
any of his podcasts, you hear Tom has a lot of energy sometimes.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way this is the same fucking guy from the Schmoedown.
He also has a
But-
laugh like Dr. Hibbert in The Simpsons, which is always very surprising to me. That's like what his real laugh sounds like. It's like, hoo, hoo, hoo.
Right. So I'm gonna. Actually, I don't even need to leave the polls open any longer. We do have a winner.
What?
So our winner of round 1 was Mr. Chance Ellison.
Mhm.
The judges were split in round 2, went to the audience poll, and that went to VIDEODREW.
Hell yeah.
Our judges did agree for round 3. And your winner, VIDEODREW.
What? Yes, Queen. Sorry, Chance, but Tom and Drew. That's a match made in somewhere.
I
Yes,
will say though, if the judges had not agreed, Chance would have won. The poll is 51-49 for him.
Wait, are we looking at the same poll? I'm seeing one that says 56-44.
I might need to refresh it. It doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah,
You won.
I still won.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, baby. And now it says 60-40.
Yeah, I guess mine's just not updating right.
But very good arguments made by Chance. And I was really scared that I was going to lose that round 2 because, in fairness, it is picking opponent's choice is not it's like a dumb choice. I just didn't want to pick any category because every category is someone's favorite category, and so someone's going to find it like not overused. So the only thing I could think of was like I personally don't like certain categories, and so like when I get them, I think they're overused, but most people would disagree because it's purely subjective.
Yeah. How you feeling, Chance? You don't
Fine.
look too happy.
Oh, fun. I mean, if I win, I win. If I lose, whatever.
Chance, I still want to really hear your podcast where you're Mark Ellis's child. That is a high concept that I was not being kidding when I said, not being facetious when I said I would like to hear it. It sounds funny.
All right. Well, I think it is time to bring in our ghost judge, who I appreciate waiting patiently in the background this whole time. Get rid of this banner.
What is this banger?
I was wondering if anybody was going to guess it, but nobody did.
I forgot
So,
that was
he is, you can, hey, ghost judge, you can change your name now.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would have guessed who the
Yeah, I
ghost
don't
judge
think
is
so
this
either.
week.
No,
It's-
you got my curiosity.
Is it Tom?
It is not Tom.
Okay. Well, I need to know who it is now.
And
Was
the
it
name
somebody I
isn't changing.
offended somehow at some point?
No, he
No.
is one of the founders of What Real Entertainment, co-host
Oh, is it Matt?
of Spin from the Real, Mr. Chris
The
Anthony
other black
Lopez,
from Spinning from the Real. if I say so myself.
Action Army General, call sign Jenny from the Block,
What's good, y'all?
Chris Anthony Lopez.
Hey, Chris.
What is going on? Y'all had me cracking the hell up in that last one. Like, I want to hear Chance's comedic podcast about how his dad abandoned him for like the first 20 years of his life. That's what I want to
It
hear.
sounds. Can I be honest? I was trying not to crack up at that part because that does sound funny to pair up Mark Ellis, who's just got that naturally buoyant, happy, coy energy, with Chance being like having a grudge that his dad left him.
Yeah.
It's a
It's like my dad's
love-
been a carrot this whole
my kind
time.
of fun comedy.
I love this comment from Cam. Ghost judges Riley, who had
That
to drop
would be
out of this.
amazing. I mean, to be fair, Riley was too scared to play me. That's what this was. Too scared for the rematch that was going to happen after I lost to him last season. Not in Schmoebates in the real life, which is a Schmoedown. But
Wait, this isn't real life?
this is real life. It's just not the one I do for points. This is the one I do for fun, which is arguing. Yeah, like the round 2 was hard because mine was like a BS kind of choice when in the context of the larger 3-round game. So I applaud myself for managing to make that argument land somehow.
Well, it can't be too much of a BS choice if one of the judges and the audience voted for it. I mean,
No, I appreciate it. I mean, compared to an actual like picking a category, I thought opponent's choice was like a cheat, but I also think that it's true. Like, I also personally believe that I would like to see tournaments where you can like choose if both players decide to like have a gentleman's or woman's agreement to take it off the wheel.
well, I was never expecting that when I submitted that question.
Mhm.
But once I saw it, I was like, oh shit, that'll be interesting.
Because like, yeah, other championships have the choice, the option to take them off the wheel. Like, we should too. Why not?
Yeah.
Like, people feel like this is like kind of like put out by them, and I don't think anyone like would begrudge somebody for getting opponent's choice off the wheel. I feel like it should be a thing to do.
Yeah. I do want to go back to something that Chance said in round 2 about the stats on opponent's choice.
Mhm.
He said he doesn't know if it was Megs or Frank. It's always fucking Megs.
Was it Megs? Okay, cool.
No, well, I don't know if it was or not, but she's from Call to Action, so it's always fucking Megs.
I was gonna say
here's the question.
there's been multiple people who have run the stats down on
I
both
understand.
opponents and spinner's choice.
I guess my question is, comparatively, has martial arts been spun more often than other categories?
No, but
It has come up quite a bit.
No, but it has shown up a lot in round 1. And I will say it's just my inside information. It's shown up in round 1 for the point that you were making, Drew, as a concerted effort to kind of broaden the scope of movies that are being asked about in round 1.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I hear a lot of black cinema questions in round 1. I'm trying to think of like one round 1 that I've heard that is martial arts. Like, I'm trying to think of like one match that had that.
I think I played like 4 or 5 matches.
Yeah.
I'm like legitimately asking. I can't think of them.
Shazam, the last one I played.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken. No, wait, maybe I'm wrong. But I know it's come up a couple times for me.
I mean,
it's come up a few times.
I mean, I know that answers have been in the categories of like stuff that can fall under martial arts, but I'm not sure like I've heard a round 1 in the category of martial arts.
I'm pretty sure there has been.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Yeah.
But we're hard pressed to think of what it is. And opponent's choice, I feel like we can just say precedent of the last game that was played live.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we have our winner. Got
Yay.
our ghost judge, who is by far one of my favorite people in this space.
No,
Chris
too
Anthony
kind.
Lopez. Thank
Way
you.
too kind. Thank
you
you.
for being here. And Drew, I know you just came off that Halloween show on his channel.
Yeah. That was really fun, by the way. That was so fun.
They're great.
Yeah, it was a really good show. And
I had to remind myself that guy's name is not Rick. Because that's
Taylor pronounced my name correctly.
They look awfully alike, but 2 different people.
Yeah, man, it's nuts.
Yeah, so I'm gonna show y'all what we have now. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong one. VIDEODREW. Moving on to the second round to face the winner of Brendan Meyer and Robert Parker.
Woohoo.
That's gonna be interesting. Both of those matches, and I can't wait for Mara versus Bibbs too. That's also gonna be great. Do you have a preference of who you would rather face? Is it Brendan or is it Robert?
I mean, that's hard. Like, Robert's part of the dungeon, and Brendan just has that natural charm that kind of like tends to win people over in arguments. Like, I feel like my shoot from the hip style of never taking notes or like having much factual evidence like bolster me up might actually like bite me in the ass one of these days, as it almost did in this one. So I'm gonna have to come super prepared. But I think if I had to pick one to take on, I'd rather take on Brendan, just because Robert Parker comes in real hot, and I like to play these things like, you know, I'm still in the first early rounds of this bracket, right? Like it's I can still have a fun time. When I get closer down to it, maybe I should you know, start feeling the heat a little bit. But let's stick on Brendan Meyer. That's my choice.
I mean, and it is a it's a short bracket. After your next match, it'll be the finals. So
It does look like the dungeon is going to take it this year, but I think that's because this was a dungeon-centered Schmoebates, if I remember correctly.
yeah, it wasn't meant to be, but
I thought
it
it
was
was.
the people who said yes.
Oh, well, you know what? We have a lot of time
No.
available, apparently, to argue.
Yeah, so we got that coming. And also, Brandon is just about to wrap up filming on the project that he's doing right now. So
Ooh.
he's probably not in like a schmo-down
I
mind
mean,
state.
he's a, like, what, champion, former champion? I
Mhm.
can't remember. He's one of them. But he's real good at arguing. I mean, like, he's chill about it, but, like, he's got some
Yeah.
real, like, you saw him, like, argue that lesbian question last year against Alonzo, right? About that.
I almost thought lesbians were going to cost me the match.
Where he was like, they were in a relationship, and then they were like, oh, the answer is lesbian. He's like, I didn't know if you wanted me to say lesbian. Like, that was the funniest, and like most, like he did it.
It's
in
the
a way
way,
that
it's
was
the
not
way,
bad.
challenge.
it's the way he tiptoes around. It's just like
Yeah,
He
and the way
doesn't
that
wanna-
he's like,
they're
can I
friends of
challenge?
Alan.
Like, maybe I want to challenge, you know, but it's, you know, don't let that sweet demeanor fool you. That kid is a lethal weapon, and he is literally the only reason why I agreed to show Schmoedown in the first place, is because I wanted to meet the kid from the OA. So,
Yeah. Well,
which
now
has
he's
been a
got
great
that.
season, so
He doesn't have the
yes.
OA haircut anymore. He's got that
No,
that weird.
no.
shit
Now he
going
looks
on.
like what's his name? He looks like Mayor of Easttown dude a little bit. He's got this cool looking headshot. Hope he doesn't
Evan
bring that
Peters?
like what?
Like Evan Peters?
Yeah, he looks like Evan Peters in Mayor of Easttown. Like, it's his new headshot thing on his Instagram that I have not been
Right.
stalking. Is like very like cool and edgy now.
All right. Well, we are about at that time. Congratulations, VIDEODREW.
Thank you. And
Chance, you put up a
good job,
fucking
Chance.
fight, and it was
Good
close.
stuff, Chance.
It was
Thank you.
close. Dwayne, as always, great to see you. Thanks for joining me. Chris, thanks
Anytime.
for being here, brother.
Anytime.
Let's go ahead and get into plugs. We might as well start with our winner. I know you have something specific you would like to plug.
Yeah, I'm actually plugging right now. Content Candy. Check it out wherever you get podcasts. It's a new network that I've started with Nerd Chronic. We have shows like Garmin Shows Ya with me and Lon Harris. It's an all audio content show. We also have the Video Chronicles. It's me and Nerd Chronic. We also have a review show that we're doing sporadically. We've done. Have we done a Squid Game? I don't think so. We didn't technically do a Squid Game, but we did do a Midnight Mass episode that's up on there. We also have audio versions of all our podcasts, so check out Cinema Bias on there. Why Are We Like This with me and Adam Collins, that we're going to do one this week on the Blair Witch Project. Live in the Dark, which we've had some awesome like guests as of late, including Griffin Newman, and just some awesome people, man. So check all that stuff out. Also check out my YouTube channel, my Patreon, patreon.com/VideoDrew. And yeah, if you want to check out RT Essentials, a show that I write for Mark Ellis for Rotten Tomatoes on Roku or Peacock. Check that out. And check out this week's Honest Trailer, because I helped out with the Squid Game episode for Lon.
Just a busy woman. I mean, I dig it.
Oh, yeah, the horror exhibition match I'm doing with Janine. That's it.
And you also have a lot of great overlays made by a certain person on those
and
said
Dave
shows.
Giacometti. And David B. Music on my podcast, too. Just everything.
Didn't you have some Pokemon thing you had?
I do have some Pokemon things, but I'm also now more into MetaZoo, so it's not an official show right now. But if you want to buy stuff from me, go to Depop or Mercari. Just type in VideoDrew on any of those buying and selling sites, because I am deep into this new thing called MetaZoo, and it is so good. It's really cool. I can show you guys while other people are doing plugs.
Chance.
Yeah, so Twitter, Instagram at ChanceWars_91. Only thing I'm glad to plug about podcast, Choice by Chance. We are coming to the end of our. We've been looking at Denis Villeneuve's films. Not in preparation for Dune. It's just like this. We asked for a direct look at. That's what people voted. So we ended up looking at Forward's movies episode on Blade Runner 2049. Should be out by tomorrow. I'm in the middle of editing it right now, and yeah, Choice by Chance on YouTube. We're gonna start making more video content. I have some great ideas for some top fives coming up, and yeah, that's about it.
And speaking of Notorious by Chance, it was awesome to meet Russell.
Yeah,
down in
Russell
Orlando
was in
last week.
Orlando.
God, was that only a week ago?
It was.
What were you guys doing in Orlando?
We were just chilling. We went to Halloween Horror Nights, and Disney.
This is my cool ass MetaZoo.
What
They're
is that?
It's like scary adult Pokemon.
Ew.
I don't even like child Pokemon. The fun.
I don't like children cute Pokemon, not scary adult.
Look, this one it's eating somebody's head.
Oh,
Look, this
God,
guy's like eating
damn.
somebody's head off.
I'll
As
stick
one
my
does.
Pikachu's and my Turtwigs.
His name is Matlocks. He eats people.
Does he also investigate shit?
Oh my god, great question. No, but then I'm trying to see, because some of them have weird powers where it's like if you're like in a room with too many light bulbs, you lose damage. Yeah, so there's a certain kind of rule for this.
What is too many light bulbs?
This guy's rule is if you've gone to a funeral in the past 6 months.
Light bulbs.
Yeah,
Well,
shit.
if you've gone to a funeral in the past 6 months, this card gains 20-point damage, which is just like a weird.
What the fuck?
What the fuck game is this?
Now I'm
It's a
invested.
casket. It's a reverse hollow casket.
It's like if you've taken a shit in the last 20 minutes, you get 50 extra
I think
minutes.
a lot of the people
Then I
like,
get 50 extra.
People being honest.
If you watch Do the Right Thing before 11 p.m. ever.
Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to see this. Let's see if there's any more good ones. Let's
I
see.
am
Let's
fucking
see.
fascinated right now.
Yeah, what the
It's
hell? I don't
so
even know.
good.
I'm gonna go down the wormhole that is MetaZoo. The second we get done
MetaZoo
with
is
it.
crazy, and like the people that are involved with it are intense, man. I'm trying to find another good one.
Well, while you're finding another one, Chris.
Yes. I mean, you can catch me on my MetaZoo podcast that I do every Thursday. No, I'm kidding. But you can catch me on Watt Real Entertainment, Watt WAT Real with 2 E's Entertainment. I'm there a couple times a week. Spin from the Reel. Y'all might see my ugly mug. I'm there every Monday, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific. And I have a lot of other stuff going on. Just follow me on Twitter at the letter C, Anthony Lopez. I always tweet out things I'm doing. So subscribe to the channel and follow me on Twitter, I guess. Thanks, guys. This is rad.
If there's a radio within your eyesight, get 10 points damage.
Define radio, like an actual radio.
I mean, I think that's what I'm saying. I feel like a lot of these rules like it can be like either lied about or evaded very easily. But you know, it's more about just collecting for me. I've never played this game, but it sounds nutty banana pants.
Yeah.
Nutty banana pants.
Speaking of nutty banana pants, Dwayne.
That's an odd segue, but okay.
He's the co-host on my MetaZoo podcast, by the way. Dwayne Burke, everybody.
You can find me pretty much anywhere on any platform at Burke Made. If I'm on it, that's where you're gonna find me. Currently, I don't have a whole lot of my own stuff going on. I've kind of had to take a break from my own channel, but I'm hoping to get that back up and running by the new year. Probably is around when I should have that back up and running. I'm gonna go back into the OBS masterclass and kind of getting that whole thing back up and running. We'll hit the ground running in January for that, but I am still doing all the behind the scenes stuff for the Schmoedown. So if you haven't already, please go get your tickets to Schmoedown Spectacular. I will be there. I will also probably be at the World Girls show.
I'll be there.
I will be at Ellis's show. I believe the Blurds are doing some that weekend that I will also be at. And then I will also be at the concert at the Mint on Sunday. But I will be working at that. I will be doing the video, and I believe we're also live streaming it. So I'll be handling all of that stuff for that show. So please, if you're in LA and you're coming to Spectacular, check out those events. Whichever of those that you can get to them. Support everyone else here in this community. And then I am going to be on a show with Flobo Boyce on the 15th of November. What's Up Flobo After Hours. So I'll tweet it out when it comes time for the show. You don't got to go find it, but I will be on that. Kind of just talking about my life and my journey kind of in this space and whatnot, and then just shooting the shit with Flobo. This week he had Ryan Nilsson, famously of SEN Live on.
I just met him. We're from Delaware together.
So it's a great show. And then every once in a while I'm on random stuff, wrestling shows, anime shows, all sorts of stuff.
Hell yeah.
I tweet out the stuff that I'm on. Check it out if you're interested. And if you're not, still check it out and, support the homies.
Yeah.
I've just gotten into anime. I've decided it is no longer for dorks. It is cool.
And very, very, very importantly, October 26th, in 2 weeks, on the Schmoedown Twitch channel, The Boat, Brad Gilmore versus Zaflitten Flaus for the FCL championship.
Oh, God.
Wait, Brad?
I can't pass that up.
And
yeah, I gotta watch that.
Come and see it. I'm telling you, it's money. It's gonna be money. Come and see what we're doing in the FCL. I can't wait to finish out this season and then start getting ready for next season.
FCL's
next season is gonna be something special.
FCL has been for an inaugural season of anything. This has been just like an A+ product, and I can't wait to see it next season. By the way, guys, this one does 10 points damage if your opponent lives in a city known for its alligators, because it's a sewer gator.
So starting in Florida?
Yeah, basically, or New York. You can only use this guy if you drove a car to the game. He's a bat squatch.
You drove it to play the game? Okay, cool.
I don't know how to play the game. If you live within 5 miles of a forest, use Bigfoot.
I am weirdly curious about this. I'm gonna have to.
These cards, by the way, these are worth like almost $1,000. Some of them, like already. It's just bonkers because it's just people who want to collect in something the way they've missed out on Pokemon, their childhood collections. Anyway, thanks for the game, guys. That was fun.
Yeah, thanks for bringing some weird shit like we knew you would.
That's all I got, man.
That is
all I got is weird shit.
Amazing. For my plugs, you can find me here doing Schmoebates. I randomly pop up on streams, sometimes with Chris or other people, and I will be everywhere at Spectacular Weekend that Dwayne just mentioned. I'll be at the World Girls show. I'll be at Spectacular. I'll be at Ellis's comedy show. I'll be at the concert at the Mint. So hopefully, Dwayne, you don't get tired of me, but I will be buying a lot of shots. So
I'm there.
Remember to pick your
Chris is, Chris is going to be there too.
I'll be there.
Jake, remind yourself that the credit card is at the bar and to pick it up at the end of the night.
Look, when we went to Orlando last week, I did not lose my credit card once.
Whoa,
you just go to good bars that close you out at the end of the night.
My sister's bar was a good bar. Well, it just we just got super wasted there.
Yeah, no, I just left without even thinking about.
No, there's because it's crazy. Some bars will like charge you extra if you like leave your card. Like you have to like know the bar and like make sure that like I've done it a couple times where I've like left my card at Barney's and they just close you out at the end of the night.
Wait, Jake, didn't it turn out that your card was in your wallet? Wasn't that the thing?
Yeah, that time. And Billy Belford
that
had
one
to
time.
find
The
it.
other time, I love.
He was searching through my wallet.
This is a different time.
No, there was one time in New York where Janine and Rachel Silvestrini just randomly found my card under a bench outside of a bar.
That's incredible.
And in Atlanta, I left it at the bar where the comedy show was. It just seems to happen. I don't know. But these goddamn helicopters are still going.
The helicopters. They're looking for your card.
But no,
okay,
I think
guys. Well, I've done a bunch of shows in a row, and I'm going to Santa Barbara to see my dad tomorrow, and I've got to keep writing some scripts, so I've got a jet. But this is awesome. I love winning.
This is gonna do it. Drew, congrats again. Chance, thanks again. Dwayne, Chris, thanks for being here. Everybody who was in the chat, everybody who voted, we appreciate you. We'll see you next time for Brendan versus Parker. And till then, salute.
Bye.